New York Knicks star center Mitchell Robinson will be coming back at the end of the regular season, though previously expected to miss the rest of the season. This is huge news, guys, so what's up? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to waste no time jumping right into the video because Mitchell Robinson will be back after all. After it was expected that the Knicks star center would be missing the rest of the season after having a breakout campaign, now Robinson is expected to return to the rotation before the regular season ends. This is awesome news, and Woj reported on it, basically saying, especially in regards to the Knicks disabled player exception, there's optimism that center Mitchell Robinson could return late in the regular season from an ankle surgery, which is a significant part of the reason why the NBA denied the $7.8 million disabled player exception in his absence. And the league informed the Knicks on Wednesday that it would be denying the organization's application for a DPE, largely because NBA doctors were unable to determine that Robinson would likely be out until mid-June. Now, the Knicks would have gotten this exception, except what the doctors basically said is Mitch probably is not going to be out for the season, or at least out until mid-June, which is what you need to get the disabled player exception. It's expected now that Robinson could come back around April. That is awesome. The Knicks have clearly had a problem with their backup center since Hartenstein took over because Mitch has been out and Mitch was the team's starting center. Now, the Knicks will get to put Hartenstein back in the bench, though he'll probably play a little more minutes than Mitch will because Mitch coming off the injury prone. Also, Hartenstein's just in such a groove right now. But now Hartenstein gets to come back off the bench where he was doing so well. He's also been great as a starter, but he gets to play with the bench unit, where just against the Trailblazers the other night, he was dishing out assists left and right and sort of covering for the fact that the Knicks don't have a ton of shot creation in that bench unit. And also it means the New York Knicks will probably not be making a trade for a Daniel Gafford-like player. Gafford obviously has been linked to the Knicks by multiple reports, including this channel. And now we can kind of cross his name off the list because Mitchell Robinson is coming back now, and essentially the idea was Gafford can replace Robinson in that role, but now the Knicks will have Mitch for the playoffs, which is huge. What's probably going to happen is that we're probably going to see Mitch play around 23 minutes a night once he comes back and have Hartenstein play the rest, which is 25. So it'll still be pretty close to even, though Hartenstein will probably get the edge now just because he's been playing all season. He'll be in the shape, while Mitch might need a little bit to get back into the groove if they're coming off of an ankle surgery. But he is the best offensive rebounder in the NBA. He's one of the top rim protectors. He had some of the best playoff performances of any Knick last season. They need Mitchell Robinson for the Knicks to be at their ceiling. As good as Hartenstein is, they need them both to be at their ceiling. And now the Knicks look like they will be that as long as Mitch can come back after all. And if you look here, this was soon after it was reported that Mitch would miss the rest of the season. He was doing a Snapchat Q&A, and though most of his answers for everything, including who's harder to guard, LeBron or Wemby, Mitch would just say IDK, or what's your favorite moment from high school, to which Mitch said IDK, which stands for I don't know, in case anyone's watching. And basically what Mitch said here is, I hope not. I hope I'm not out for the rest of the season. The question says, are you for real out for the rest of the season? Mitch said, I hope not. Mitch gave us the first sort of glimmer of light that maybe this wasn't a death sentence for the Knicks season. Because again, as good as Hartenstein is, the Knicks need both of them. It gives them the best center tandem in the NBA when it comes to a starter and a backup, unless you want to argue that Rudy Gobert / Towns and Naz Reid is better. And the Timberwolves are one of the best teams in the league, as you can see right there. They're the 1 seed at 26-10. So clearly, one of the big parts of the Knicks is that they need their two centers in Mitch and Hartenstein. The two are good friends, so obviously that is going to help. It's not like when Mitch comes back, Hartenstein's going to be upset that he might lose his starting job. He knows the minutes are basically going to be even, especially in the playoffs, because Mitch just won't be healthy. Excuse me. And then really what we're looking at right now is just getting the best offensive rebounder in the NBA back for playoffs. That is so exciting. I mean, what Fred Katz had to say on it is that a source confirms that the NBA denied the Knicks application for the disabled player exception for Mitch, and he was told that there's optimism Robinson could return this season. He's scheduled to be reevaluated around mid-February following the December ankle surgery. Here's why this is huge news. Because instead of being reevaluated sometime in March, where it's basically just going to say, all right, well, Mitch is out for this much longer, We're now going to hear about this in mid-February, which gives optimism that Mitch could be back in early to mid-April, hopefully, maybe even sometime in March. Ankle surgeries are weird. Sometimes you're only going to be out for a short period of time after the surgery. Sometimes you're going to be out for a while. It seems like this was not too severe. I mean, clearly Mitch was playing on the injury enough to a degree where it's not like his ankle was destroyed. And I mean, Julius, sure, he had a rough start to the season, but he got ankle surgery around July and played the first game of the year in mid-October. That's not a full season's worth of basketball. That's not December to June even. So the Knicks are good. Robinson is going to be back. And is he going to be 100%? Who knows? The big worry is that maybe he comes back too soon and could get re-injured, and I think the Knicks should avoid that. Look, you're not contending this year, or as close as you get. You're probably not winning the NBA Finals. The Celtics are so good as long as Porzingis stays healthy. The 76ers have been great. The Milwaukee Bucks have a ton of talent. The Denver Nuggets are the Denver Nuggets after all. The Timberwolves have been having this dream season. Is it going to carry over to the playoffs? Who knows? Regardless, they're having this quite the year. The NBA has a ton of teams trying to contend right now. The Lakers are going to make 500 trades at the deadline, and then LeBron might drag them back to the conference finals or something. Who knows? But basically, there's a lot of competition this year to win the 2024 NBA Finals, and the Knicks are not suited in the best place to go for it. Next year, maybe, when they can add another star in free agency through a trade, and then maybe have Mitch fully healthy and fully recovered. Who knows? But the Knicks should not rush in and play Mitch before he's fully healthy. I thought that was a mistake when they were doing that with Randall, and I think it would be a mistake again with Mitch, especially because Mitch is injury prone in a way that Randall isn't. Randall landed weirdly, and he carries a lot of weight around, so if you land weirdly, you can get injured like that, and that's what happened. It was a freak thing, the same way that Randall had a weird landing and broke his leg in his first NBA game. It was just a freak accident. Now, if the Knicks think that Mitch is fully healthy, and he appears to be so, and you add him back, that gives you a real path to the Eastern Conference Finals, because now the Knicks can hang with teams. They're not going to have just some ambiguous amount of time that Hartenstein's on the bench where the Knicks don't have an NBA level center. Who knows about Precious Achiuwa right now, but he is 6'8". You never can be totally sure. And then on top of that, there's also just Jericho Sims, who you're unsure about. If the Knicks can have both Mitch and Hartenstein ready to go for this season, then they could really have quite the run during the playoffs. I mean, Mitch was dominant in the playoffs last year. He was bullying Jared Allen and Evan Mobley at the same time. He was a huge reason why the Knicks were able to wipe the floor with the Cavs. And this season, Mitch has been better. This has been the best season of his career. He's averaging only 6 points, which is actually his lowest, but it's the rebounding. He's pulling down 10.3 boards per game, and 5.3 of those are offensive. That is insane. He led the league in offensive rebounds by a country mile before he got injured. Has a career average of 70% from the field, which is ridiculous. Obviously only around 60 this year, but he wasn't taking too many shots. He's actually shooting the lowest amount of shots he's ever taken outside of his rookie year. And so, look, are his percentages going down? Yeah. Is he still that 37% free throw shooter that we all know and love? Sure. But that's why you have Hartenstein. They literally counteract each other, because look, none of them are going to be out there and be in stretch bigs, but the Knicks don't play a style where you need a stretch big. Not when you have Brunson, DiVincenzo, and OG Anunoby on the perimeter. Those are all three well above average shooters. Two of them, in DiVincenzo and Anunoby, are two of the best corner three shooters in the NBA. You have Jalen Brunson scoring. Now you're going to be able to get those second chances throughout the entire game. Because look, Hartenstein has been excellent in Mitch's absence. He's been one of the best offensive rebounders in the league in Mitch's absence, but he's not Mitch on the offensive boards. However, he's better than every single backup center in the NBA at all facets of basketball, except for maybe Naz Reid. We'll give it to Naz Reid, except for maybe Naz Reid. Especially, though, Hartenstein is better than all backup centers at getting offensive boards. The Knicks thrived off of getting those second chance points because they weren't as good of a shooting team with Quickly and RJ instead of Anunoby. Now the Knicks shoot better. They're not a team that with that starting five out there, and whether Mitch or Hartenstein is in a big man, they're not a team that you can allow second chance points to. As JJ Redick put it, the easiest way for teams to get open threes in the NBA is off of an offensive rebound and a second chance shot. You cannot give the Knicks second chances when Julius Randle's your fourth best shooter now, because that means he gets to work from the inside more, while Brunson, DiVincenzo, and Anunoby are going to be out there. One of them is probably going to be open, and they're all going to be knocked down from three. That is how you succeed as a team. Mitchell Robinson has been so important to the success of the Knicks. He's also the longest tenured Knick. He just understands what he's supposed to be doing on the court. He understands the assignment. He's such a good defender, one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. Should have been more in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation than he was. And obviously, he's the league's best offensive rebounder. The Knicks season basically just got saved. And I cannot wait to keep you guys updated on more Mitchell Robinson and Knicks news as a whole. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. 14% of our viewers are subscribed, and they see it all. It's right on the front page of YouTube. It's real easy for you. You don't have to look up Knicks Digest. Don't have to look up Knicks news. We're just right here ready to drop it for you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe if you like Mitchell Robinson. And if you don't subscribe, it means you don't like Mitchell Robinson. Comment down below what you think. Should the Knicks keep Hartenstein as the starter? Should Mitch come off the bench? Who should get more minutes when Mitch comes back? And what does this mean for the rest of the Knicks season? Have a great day, guys. And go Knicks. And go Mitchell Robinson.